From Los Angeles, TraderInsight.com presents Dr. Adrian Manz in the war room and at the helm with today's look at stocks and sectors on the radar.
For TraderInsight.com, this is Adrian Manz, and this is Stocks and Sectors on the Radar for Thursday, January 15th, 2009. Well, if you're a bull, I bet you're happy to have Wednesday behind you. Down 248.42 on the Dow Jones Industrials to close at 8,200.14. We had 317 stocks advance, 2,798 decline, and NYSE total volume of about 1.4 billion shares. There was some conviction on Wall Street on Wednesday. Now, what about the Dow box, right? We're down on the bottom of that critical range that we've been looking at. There's good reason for it. I told you before, if we get bad news and we're down below the middle of that box, look out below. If we get bad news again on Thursday and Friday, we're going to head down and we're going to retest those 7,500, 7,600 lows. I will almost guarantee it. I'd eat my hat if it didn't happen. So what happened on Wednesday? We had MBA mortgage applications. That news wasn't so good. Then we had retail sales. That news was bad. We had business inventories. That news was bad. Then we had Citigroup come out and tell us what was going on under their roof. That was bad. Bank of America said they need more money. That's real bad. And then Deutsche Bank comes out and says they've got to warn because their earnings are going to look lousy too. So all the way across the board, we had what you would call a bad set of announcements on Wednesday, and the market showed it. S&P 500, of course, financial heavy, down 29.17, closed at 842. We've got support coming up on the S&Ps, down in here around 815 or so, 816 or so. If that manages to hold, we're in business. We should see a bounce back up into this range. If it doesn't, if the news coming out over the next couple days doesn't do something to prop this thing up, we're going to see some ugliness in the S&Ps going into next week. Then the NASDAQ didn't even see the carnage that it's going to see first thing in the morning if somebody can't do something about this Apple news. The spin doctors have got to get people convinced that it's not as bad as it sounds, because that news, along with all the other news we had, of course, bad. NASDAQ 100 down 39 points on the day. NASDAQ comp down 56 points on the day. Not looking real great going into Thursday on the long side of the market. The VIX is way up, 49. Looks like we're going to get a VIX probably back up into the 50s, if not the 60s, coming up here before too long. I'm going to be watching. My sort of standard short side stuff on Thursday. I'm going to have my eyes on the REITs, the retail REITs. We've got Federal Realty Investment Trust here. This one is a backdoor slider setup, a little bit looser than I like to see, a little bit looser than the stuffing around the horn, but it still looks to me like a move below 51.50 or so on this one. Tie that together with a move lower in the financials and the REITs in particular, and you've got some downside price action ahead of us on Thursday for FRT. I've also got IRC, Inland Real Estate Corp. This one, a move below $10 a share or so. This is again, this is kind of a loose setup. It's not a great fastball since we just had a couple days in here where we had some wide range volume here on a fastball setup on its own. Had this nice sort of follow through day and then this tight little consolidation. So it's not a backdoor slider. It's not really a fastball setup because the range on the Wednesday bar is not significantly larger than the range back here on the 9th. I'm still going to watch it. I still think it's got downside potential. I also think the home builders, obviously, always downside potential in these things when the news ain't good, and it ain't good. Lennar, ticker symbol LEN. I'm going to be looking for this one to make a move lower out of this backdoor slider setup. Again, if you don't know what a backdoor slider is or you can't remember, take a look back at Around the Horn. Just refresh your memory. If you don't understand why this is a slider after you read that, shoot me an email, adrian@traderinsight.com, and we'll talk about it. But it should be pretty obvious. The only thing that's a little bit off here is that this fastball day, you might say that didn't close exactly in the bottom 25% of the bar, and that the open over here was a little higher than I usually like it to be. That's true. That's why it's not on the intraday trading plan. It's sort of on my watch list instead. And then Moving out of the REITs and the pure financials, we've got an interesting situation here in Moody's, right? Moody's moving to the upside. I'm going to watch this. I don't know how likely it is that MCO is going to see upside action on Thursday. I don't know what the market's going to do. We might be oversold at this point. We might catch a bounce. If we do, 24.39, 24.45, somewhere in there, I'm going to be looking for a scalp entry opportunity in MCO if we see that strength and get the move to the upside. Also, I'm going to keep watching Praxair. We talked about this one yesterday. Of course, the odd thing was from yesterday's stocks and sectors on the radar, most of them fizzled, didn't do anything. We did have a long side. If anybody wants to talk about that one, shoot me an email too. That one went 90 cents today. So we had a long side trade. We managed to find one of the 317 stocks that actually had a positive day today, and managed to get Beckman Coulter there and get a move higher. So that was very cool. But all things told, market was a disaster. Gonna watch Praxair on Thursday to see if we don't get a pop-up. It's still a valid switch hitter setup. A little deeper than I like to see. This is down around 60% at this point. So we'll see what happens with it and if we get any long side opportunities here. Speaking of Thursday, we've got 4 seats left for the webinar that we're doing. It's free if you want to come in and listen. I'm going to talk about some of the patterns that have been working particularly well lately, going back probably like November through right now. They're things that are working for us and things that I'd like to talk about. They're also in the book and should give a little bit of color to the stuff in the book and give you a better idea about what I'm talking about. It's traderinsight.com/webinar, webinar.html. Going to be about an hour long, 4:30 Pacific time, or 4:30 Eastern time, 1:30 Pacific time. If you'd like to come and watch, or you'd like to watch the archive, go ahead and register. It's free. Come on in. And, otherwise, have a great trading day on Thursday. Use protective stops on every trade. And for traderinsight.com, I'm Adrian Manz.